and that it expressed at its founding, you see that there is a possibility of bringing it back to those ideals. And what's ironic is in 1967, Dr. King gives this speech. In 1972, the Pentagon Papers are published, and we find out that what Dr. King had been saying was by and large true, and the American government had been lying to its people for more than 30 years.
Yeah. There's a news show, actually, that came out of the Pentagon Papers called The Post. We're going to see that. That's coming up in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. But let's go to the phone lines here, coming leading up. On social media, Gary Hunter said, nice show. Thank you, Gary. If you have a question or comment, I see Tyrone Walker, David Barrow, Christina Thompson. I see Sharon Richards, Darrell Lawson. If you have a question or comment, you can fire your question or comment on social media. But let me go to Ida. Ida has been waiting for question or comment.
Just a comment. Whenever we talk about Martin Luther King Jr., we always focus on his discussion of peace. But when I look at, because I am an economist and I have read most of his speeches are economically oriented, and we never talk about it, such as his 1967 speech. He didn't just protest the war. What he protested was the spending of money on military, he says in his speech. A nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense
will die spiritual death.
Social uplift is approaching spiritual death.
Right.
Which is an economic phrase that you're spending money on military, but we are dying as African Americans in the United States due to poverty. And his whole issue was about we need jobs, we need job training, we need income, because otherwise, he says, if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty, nor the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists. And so we get caught up on the peace side of the house, rather than get up that real freedom and peace comes from having economic resources. And that comes from having jobs, that comes from having income opportunities, that comes from having entrepreneurial opportunities. And today in America, the bulk of those opportunities are ingrained in technology. But yet we don't have a lot of discussion about how we're going to break our people into technology, how we're going to diversify that technology training, and how we're going to diversify technology placement. So on tomorrow, since we talk about speaking up, my nonprofit, Uplift Inc., is having a press conference on how we're going to scale IT and tech diversity, because at the end of the day, freedom comes from being economically free and have money to do whatever you want to do.
All right. Thank you so much, Ida. All right, we have a lot of calls coming in. You're listening to Redline here on 910 AM. I'm Ben Calais Thompson, my guest, Tony Bill Knox. We're deconstructing some of Dr. King's most consequential speeches. Yesterday, we dealt with a speech Dr. King gave at Stanford University titled The Other America. Today, we're looking at, of course, perhaps the most famous of speeches, aside from the I Have a Dream, the War in Vietnam speech that Dr. King gave. Let's go to William. William has a question or comment.
Yes, I would like to comment. Has one of you all ever read the book The Affluent Society by Kenneth Galbraith?
No, I've not.
Yes, I have.
He talks about how the concept of the preparation of war keeps the gross domestic product growing and growing and growing, and the implantation of this concept basically says this is a significant contributing factor to capitalism.
War profiteering.
He also talked about demand creation by way of advertising. That's why so much is spent on advertising, because you advertise on TV and other media, and folks go out and buy it whether they need it or not.
Okay.
But the preparation for war has been a constant. That's why we always did war for the last 30 years. You have to do that to keep the gross domestic product prepped up.
Yeah, and you can forget about the billions of dollars that went missing in Iraq. Remember that, too, under George W. Bush. Thank you so much, William. Let's do this. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, Bob, Esprit, John, stay with me. We'll come right back and continue this conversation about Dr. King and the war in Vietnam. And that's this speech and A lot of things were said in there, juxtaposing the war and poverty side by side. We'll be right back. And Ben Clay Thompson, stay with us. We're coming right after this break.